MSG Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight it's the Yankees and the Seattle Mariners in the Kingdome. The Yankees starting pitcher tonight is David Cone, and the Mariners go with their recent acquisition, Andy Benes. It's daytime where you are. It's daytime in Seattle, but of course we're inside the Kingdome for the first of 4 games between these two teams who are now battling for the American League wild card spot. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Cohen along with Jim Cott. The big news here in the Pacific Northwest is not the return of Ken Griffey, not even the fact the Mariners are in the race for the wild card. The big news is the worldwide introduction of Windows 95. But for the Yankees, it's going to be Curtains 95 if they don't begin hitting very soon.
Yeah, they're running out of games, and of course that attack has been very listless. Needs a little life. You could see yesterday an example of many ground outs. That one by Sierra to end the game, and the A's, of course, swept the Yankees. And when one of the big reasons you look at the collection of 6 hitters, add up those numbers, that adds up to a batting average of about $160. That has to improve here in the Kingdome if the Yankees are going to get in and stay in the wild card hunt.
The Yankees come in with a 5-game losing streak. The Yankees were swept the last time they were here in the Kingdome, so today they give the ball to a man who has pitched very well regardless of what uniform he's worn here.
Perfect situation for the Yankees. David Cone, big game pitcher. He's pitched very well for the Yankees since they've acquired him. That's a strikeout of Ken Griffey Jr. And you mentioned he has had great success here in the Kingdome. Look at David's numbers. In the Kingdome, a perfect 3-0. He's only given up 1 earned run in 29 innings. So the situation for the Yankees is desperate. They have the right man on the mound.
Now, we mentioned the wild card race. The Yankees have fallen 4.5 games behind the front-running Texas Rangers, and they even trail Seattle.
Wow, and the Milwaukee Brewers are right behind the Rangers. The plus for Seattle, the Yankees will get a look at Ken Griffey Jr. back in the lineup.
Yeah, this is back in May, the devastating injury that required major surgery. He is back and playing with 7 screws in his arm, and this is since his return. You can see he is still running into the wall, and he has hit 2 home runs.
That's the home run that he hit night before last. His timing getting a little bit better. Lou Piniella has him hitting in the 3-hole tonight. That's what he's done since his return from the DL. But of course, even though he's hit in 7 of those 9 games, the Mariners are 3-6.
It is a very formidable lineup besides Ken Griffey Jr. You've got Edgar and Tino Martinez. We're back with Game 1, the Mariners and the Yankees in the Kingdome on MSG. Seattle, but it's baseball inside the Kingdome as the Yankees and the Mariners get set for Game 1 of 4. And Andy Benes, who came to the Mariners recently from the San Diego Padres, gets the starting assignment tonight. Andy Benes with a record with the Seattle Mariners of 2-1. With the San Diego Padres, he had been 4-7, but you can see the opposition's batting average, a very hefty .310, and his ERA well over 6.
Every other start for Benes, he's had a bad one, then a good one, and a bad one. The unfortunate thing for Mariners fans, his worst starts have been right here in the Kingdome. He has not gotten into the 4th inning yet.
Here's a look at the Yankees 7-11 starting lineup that Andy Benes will face. Wade Boggs, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, the DH cleanup man Ruben Sierra. Darryl Strawberry will play right field in the Dome. Don Mattingly at first, Mike Stanley behind the plate, Tony Fernandez at short, and Pat Kelly at second.
Catcher Dan Wilson on the mound, Andy Benes. Now let's go.
And we're set to go as Wade Boggs digs in to face Andy Benes.
Boggs swing at the first pitch. Not unusual to see Ken Griffey Jr. make that easy catch in center field. There's the rest of the defensive alignment. Vince Coleman in left, Jay Buhner in right, then Mike Blowers, Felix Fermin, Joey Cora, Tino Martinez at first base, Dan Wilson behind the plate, and the kid back in center. And he's made a couple of outstanding running catches already since returning from the disabled list.
The Yankees had a chance in the first, but it's the same old story. Men left on base 2. And now David Cone will go to the mound to pitch to the Seattle Mariners for the first time in a Yankee uniform. David Cone has appeared in 22 games overall this year. His ERA of 3.31. Opposition batting only .226 against him. Very good hits to innings pitch ratio. And David Cone 4-1 as a Yankee in his 5 starts. Here's the 7-11 lineup. And batting order for the Seattle Mariners: Vince Coleman, Joey Cora, Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, the American League's leading hitter, and Tino Martinez, Jay Buhner, Mike Blowers, the catcher Dan Wilson, and the shortstop Felix Fermin.
And the pace salsa in the field as we look at the Yankees behind David Cone, O'Neill, Bernie Williams, Strawberry in the outfield, Wade Boggs at third, Kelly and Mattingly on the right side, Mike Stanley behind the plate. Tony Fernandez is struggling with the bat. One thing when you're having trouble scoring runs, you want the best team in the field to try to hold the opposition down. And Buck Showalter hoping that even though Tony is struggling with the bat, he'll continue to play well in the field.
A lot of experience on the AstroTurf from his days with the Toronto Blue Jays. Speaking of the turf, that outfield of Bernie Williams in center, flanked by Strawberry and O'Neill, means Bernie's going to have to cover some ground.
Kick up.
And Coleman, instead of being on first base, is a strikeout victim of David Cone. So David Cone picks up yet another strikeout here in the Kingdome, the place where he has had tremendous success.
Different slopes, and Steve Palermo talked about maybe raising the mound and trying to speed up the games, but I think really the slope of the mounds are different across the American League, more so in the National League.
Well, Joey Cora looked at just one pitch from David Cone, pitching off that mound that he likes, and he singled into right field. And now things get interesting. Ken Griffey Jr., then Edgar and Tino Martinez.
Lou Piniella had been hitting Griffey in the number 2 spot, just so that the kid did not have to feel that he had to carry too much of the load, try to hit the long ball. But he said his timing is there now, and he's back in the spot where he belongs with the playoff experience.
In the air on the right side, very high, and Kelly is camped under it. And Kelly got it straight up against the almost gray roof there at the Kingdome.
And that's probably just that little half-inch of difference. When you've been out of the lineup for a while, Ken Griffey Jr. is probably saying to himself, when I'm in there every day for a month or so, I'm going to be right on that ball. And he just got under that one.
Mattingly now behind the runner. That pitch misses, so David Cone issues a 2-out walk to Edgar Martinez, which means he'll be facing Tino Martinez now with 2 outs and 2 on. And that's ball 4. So Tino Martinez, who has hit 4 home runs against the Yankees, walks, and now the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the first inning.
Well, you're seeing the effects of a team that has not been scoring a lot of runs.
Here's Jay Buhner. They had a big night for him last night. It was a Buhner buzz cut night number 2. Well hit to left center field. Forget it. This one is way out of here. The 7th grand slam hit against the Yankees.
Third baseman,
22 of his 24 home runs off right-hand pitching. Buhner looked fastball on the first pitch, got it, and drove it. Big hole the Yankees are in to start this game. He knew it.
And for Jay Buhner, his 6th career grand slam. There's the Buhner buzz cut. Last night, anybody who had a head that looked like that got in for free. 700 people took advantage of it. Another 600 got clipped. That scalp outside on their way in and got in for free, including one woman. And those who came to this businessman special and businesswoman special just got treated to a Jay Buhner grand slam. 4-0 Seattle.
There's the hit and run. The manufacturer runs depend on the long ball.
In tight, and a strikeout on that play. Flowers is left wondering at the plate how that could be called. Strike 3, but here's the man, Jay Buhner, with a first-inning grand slam that makes it 4-0 Seattle. He told Willie Randolph when the two talked about it afterwards that he was trying to make something happen and wanted to run somebody over. He never did. He slid and was tagged out. Fernandez turns on one and drives it to right field. And this one is in play off the bottom of the wall. Buhner with a little hesitation. Fernandez goes into second base with a double. Yankee runners now at second and third with one out as Fernandez delivers his 16th double.
Rodman Popple a couple of days ago. That's not off speed, but they saw an outstanding curveball blended in with the fastball. Bennis doesn't have that in his arsenal.
Here's a guy who's been struggling. 0 for 8 last 3 games, Pat Kelly. Breaking pitch it in the air to right field. This should be deep enough to score. Guess who? Mike Stanley. Here comes Buhner's throw to the plate. They'll let it come through, and the tag is not in time. Mike Stanley tags up and scores on a bang-bang play at the plate. Wilson applying the tag.
Well, now he did it yesterday against an inexperienced outfielder. He was out. Of course, today the throw is high, but again, he forced the action. And as soon as Mike Stanley came up, Buhner gets in awfully good position. And the only thing that enabled Mike Stanley to get in was the fact that the throw was high. Davey Phillips right there on the call.
Tony Fernandez moved to third.
Another look at that strong throw from Jay Buhner. Too strong. And Davey Phillips had a good look at it, said Mike, and even Mike made the call along with Phillips. Played a little bit of a fadeaway slide. Yesterday he had to go the other way. See, and then after Mike scores, he gives a little look back to Willie Round. Yeah, we got him today. Didn't work yesterday.
The Yankees have had 5 base runners now in 2 innings. That one's low to Bernie. Another walk. 2 walks in the first, 2 here in the second.
Andy May, he looked in again at Davey Phillips. You change leagues. Umpires haven't seen you. You haven't seen them. And the strike zone might be a little different. For years, the reputation was the National League called a lot more low strikes than the American League. Andy peeked in like maybe he thought a couple of those were in the zone.
Well, Paul O'Neill with one swing of the bat could put the Yankees on top. On the ground, handled easily by Martinez, and the Yankees lead 3 on here in the second inning. So Bennis, living dangerously, escapes with only 1 run scored. 4-1 Mariners in the second.
The slope of that mound.
Sway's going to miss.
Good blazer right there. Your foundation. That's a very important part of what you do.
There's a bouncing ball that Boggs can't get. Fernandez deep in the hole, off balance, and in time. Tony Fernandez, who had the double, now comes up with a terrific play from deep in the hole.
The typical Tony Fernandez off balance against the body, getting it there as quickly as he can with a nice stretch. And even though Fermin threw his helmet and argued, the Yankees had him by just, you can see the ball hit Mattingly's glove just a touch before Fermin's foot hits the bag. See, the ball is right now coming into Donnie's glove, and Fermin's foot has not yet hit the bag. So Rocky Rowe right on the call.
And guess who's making a trip out once again? As Fermin argued after that one, here's Lou Piniella. What happened, says Lou? Has Fermin been tossed from the game?
Well,
Yankee fans everywhere you go, including here in Seattle. But it's been another tough road trip out west for the Yankees. This one preceded by the stop in Boston.
Baseball would prefer that. You feel like you're more a part of the game.
Talk about the Atlanta Braves for all the great pitching they've had. Those pitchers take a lot of pride and work on their hitting.
And they got a little side action on who gets the most hits during the course of a season. They have fun with it.
Pat Kelly played Ken Griffey perfectly, so he's retired him twice. Once in a pop-up, now once in a line drive. So Cone gets the first 2 Mariners here in the 3rd inning, and The American League's top hitter, Edgar Martinez, will be next.
That ball hit sharply, and talking with Ken Griffey Jr. before the game, he said physically, you know, you see all the 7 pins in his hand and it's wrapped up. He said, I'm okay. It's just the timing is not quite there.
Speed. They never slump if they have speed. Coming back, Stanley hoping for, but will not get a play.
And the one thing you have to be cautious of, which you're aware of, Wade Boggs and Mike Stanley, is in the Kingdome. I mean, it's kind of like Nintendo ball in here. Pac-Man, the speakers are in play. So ball pop heads toward the seats. Beware, it could hit those and come back toward you, and you make a play on it.
I love it. It's Brooklyn rules. Off the wall, off the speakers is out. There's a pop foul down the left field line. This could be in no man's land. Not much speed in pursuit between O'Neill and Boggs. And it does indeed fall on the surface. No play.
There again is another feature of the Kingdome that players in the field have to be aware of. You see Paul O'Neill trotting over toward the line. There's some blowers in the second deck over the left field stands. And if that ball gets a little more hang time, it will actually blow back toward the field of play. Not surprising to see outfielders here in the corners actually overrun the ball. They think it's headed for the stand. There they are, and all of a sudden, whoosh, catches a little jet of air and it's back in the field of play. For the plate.
Good hard one that dipped down and away. And Jay Buhner strikes out here to leave 2 Mariners on. 3 in the books in the Kingdome. The Mariners lead it 4-1.
With Bill Worrell, one of the old-time scouts there, about how pitchers used to. Ooh, got him.
In the right spot.
And Tony Howard, before it ever got there, he could hear it and see it, but he couldn't do anything about it. But he did turn his back in time to cushion the blow. Side corner pitches. Grounded in the hole, and Cora, who was playing towards second, can't get it, and Boggs has a 2-out single.
Fernandez had notions about turning and going for third with 2 outs.
That one's low. And Venice, periods of wildness continue. Mariners got him a nice 4-run cushion in the first inning. And Andy had a 1-2-3 inning in the third. As you see Fernandez, Boggs, and Williams on the bases for the Yankees, they have them loaded up again for Paul O'Neill. Same situation as the second inning when Paul grounded out to Martinez to end the inning. Down the left field line, slicing toward the line. See if that one stays in territory, and it does. Coleman has to play it on the 1-hop, and Bernie Williams will score the tying run. Just like that, the Yankees have tied it at 4. Ah, those base-on balls.
Amazing. O'Neill hits the ball hard, doesn't get anything to show for it in prior games. Here's a shot that is just perfectly placed. Looks like it's going to be a pop-up at the Bermuda Triangle as 3 players converge. Neither Soho nor Blowers nor Coleman can get it. Paul O'Neill realizes he has a double, and he's driven in 3 runs to tie the game. And yes, indeed, as you said earlier, the Yankees knew they would have a shot to come back on Andy Bennis, and they have.
First pitch to Sierra on the outside corner for a strike. Actually, I think they got the break again of the blowers in the Kingdome. That ball slicing toward foul territory. And that little breeze coming out of there kept it about 10 feet fair, 1-1. But that's the penalty for a pitcher when you get an early lead and yet you don't really take command of the ball game and force the opposition to beat you. There's the blowers we were talking about that tend to blow that ball back toward fair territory.
The Blowers couldn't get to it, but the blowers did.
Yeah. Can't get it. That's into right center. The Yankees will take the lead. O'Neill scores, and it's 5-4 Yankees. Sierra with RBI number 21 as a Yankee. His 63rd overall.
Out only one hit since then.
Ripped and down into the corner. Buhner has a strong arm, and Sierra's being waved home. Here comes the throw, well up the line, and he'll score. Strawberry to third, 6-4 Yankees.
Well, I guess you could say this is the inning the Yankees have been waiting for.
And now Russ Davis batting for Don Mattingly. So obviously Don Mattingly maybe on that last at bat.
For convertible stadium.
Looped out into short right field. If that's fair, and it is, that's going to be an extra base hit. Buhner will play it out of the Yankee bullpen. Strawberry scores. And suddenly the ball is bouncing right for the Yankees. 7-4.
Well, it was only a matter of time when you see a team like this held to so few runs, and the Yankees early in this game not able to come through on scoring opportunities, leaving 2 on in the first, 3 on in the second. But here in the fourth, the Yankees have erupted. 6 runs now. Really only one hard hit ball Strawberry shot down the line. Here's Davis with that short, compact swing, but he's finding the spot. It was a long run for Jay Buhner, and he was just no way he was going to get there as the ball went right through the bench in the Yankee bullpen.
A couple of thousand more here than would have been here at noon. Stanley got the green light and just got under it. Does Coleman see it? Yes, he does. Makes the grab. The damage has been done. Bennis finally retires the Yankees, but New York puts up a 6 spot, 3.5. David Cone now has a 3-run
lead. Between starts, I was really surprised. I won't say who it was.
Good breaking ball there. Wilson down on strikes for the second time.
Told me he just likes to go out and throw the ball around, not necessarily throw hard.
Turns and spins that ball. Right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble, and it's off the wall. Strawberry plays it well. And Cora in with a head-first sliding double.
There's David Cone's pitch, and Joey Cora turns on it. Strawberry double clutches just a little, and Cora runs very well, gets in with a head-first slide. And second time he's gotten a hit off David Cone. He had a bouncing single in right field.
So Joey Cora doing his share for the Mariners, with the average now right at 300, 2 hits in tonight's game. And here's Ken Griffey Jr. Tap toward Cone. Toss to Boggs in time. Cora will hold his ground. It's a ball that Joey Cora could easily have advanced on if he wanted to. I think he just played it a little cautiously with the Mariners down 3.
That's the second time in that at-bat he threw that pitch. It looked like the heart splitter. First pitch, Griffey fouled it off. That one dove down again and produced the comeback.
It was either that or the changeup. You know, the corkscrew action. Either one of those pitches. In the hole, left field, O'Neill charges, but Cora will score easily, and it's 7-5 Yankees. Martinez with a good at bat after falling behind 0-2, gets his 89th RBI.
Boy, David Cone could make him look, well, not foolish, but could fool him on a couple of pitches. That one hung out over the plate, and this is why Edgar Martinez is the leading hitter in the American League. Look at that classic swing, and he drives it in the hole. No chance for O'Neill against Cora, who runs very well. And with the Yankees at that point having a 3-run lead, why take a chance?
Grand slam. Under it, skied it, right side. Kelly makes the call. And the catch. Cone works out of the Mariner 5th. They do tack on a run. It's 7-5 Yankees after 5. And to catch you up on all of the sports action, Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk.
All right, thanks very much, Jim. The Yankees can only hope that the Texas Rangers fall into some bad habits, perhaps get complacent, or the wheels completely fall off their pitching staff. Otherwise, this wild card race could be over before the Yankees return east. Texas has the lead again tonight against Kansas City, 1-0. Ivan Rodriguez with the RBI. Kevin Gross going against the former Met Jason Hockamy in that game.
Nope. 3 good pitches by Bennis. That takes care of Russ Davis and the Yankees. O'Neill with a line drive single just missed a home run, so the Yankees don't score, but after 5.5 they still lead the Mariners 7-5. 198 or something. It just doesn't happen. Got him again. Cone painted the outside corner 3 times, and Bowers is down for the 2nd out of the inning.
He's had 5 games of 5 RBIs.
Got him. Punch out number 7. Wilson stranded at second, and Cone continues to stay in command. 6 complete. Yankees trying to break their 5-game losing streak. They lead it by a pair.
We're in the top of the 7th inning, and the Yankees have a 7-5 lead on the Seattle Mariners. The Yankees have to know that this lead is not a comfortable one. September 19th, that's the date the voters here in King County will vote on a referendum as to whether the Mariners will get to go ahead to build a new stadium. It would be an outdoor stadium with a roof that could close in the event of inclement weather, and they certainly get their share of that here.
Well, you mentioned early part of the ball game. That was the acquisition of Andy Bennis. It was not just to keep the Mariners in the wild card race, but to let the fans of this area know they want to put a winning team together in hopes that that could have a positive effect on the outcome of that issue on September 19th.
This city is in jeopardy of losing not only its baseball team, but its football team as well. Swing and a miss. Coleman is struck out by David Cone. Again, that downward action, sometimes the changeup, sometimes the splitter.
That are sometimes 5'10", 180 pounds will throw just as hard as guys that are 6'5". They get more into it.
Ken Griffey hit one ball very hard. It was right at Pat Kelly. That was back in the 3rd inning. Hit the ball right in the dirt, and he induced the comebacker. Ground ball. It's a fair ball. Boggs will flip it to Cone covering. They get Griffey again. And that's it. A very efficient and effective 7th inning. The Yankees lead at 7-5. 3:07, 7-1, 7-1. Norm Charlton to Wade Boggs. That's ball 1. We're in the 8th inning here in the Kingdome. The Yankees with a 7-5 lead.
That's his numbers with the Mariners. Boy, has he been impressive. You see the strikeout total. Pull home a little quicker.
Bouncing ball to Cora. He'll go to second for 1, and the relay is in time, and Paul O'Neill is grounded into his 18th double play. So Bernie is prone at second base, and the Yankees are done in the 8th. They lead it 7-5. David Cone has some tough bats to face here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Edgar Martinez, the American League's leading hitter, Tino Martinez, and then Jay Buhner. The Yankees lead it 7-5. Martinez looks like he injured himself.
Sometimes the 8th inning is the 9th inning for a pitcher like David Cone. You're looking at Edgar Martinez, you mentioned Tino, and then Buhner. There's John Wetland. No activity on the mound, but there is activity in terms of stretching. There's a little calling card from David Cone. And when you see a hitter with that high leg kick, now that pitch wasn't as close as Edgar Martinez made it appear to be, but Cone is saying, I don't want you diving out toward the outside corner. I'm going to try to slow you down a little.
And this pitch is hit deep down the left field line, and it is gone. A home run for Edgar Martinez. That's how you answer a close shave. Home run number 22 for Edgar Martinez.
First baseman Tino Martinez.
7-6 Yankees.
Boy, that's impressive. Here's the brushback pitch. David Cone tried to bore it in on his fist, and Edgar said, no, I'm not giving ground. That one hung a little. Looked like it was designed to be a slider down and away. And the start of this inning, we mentioned no activity. I think that's Buck Showalter's decision. Even with a left-hand hitter like Tino Martinez coming up, he said it's David Cone's game here in the 8th inning. Boy, you got to love the approach, David Cone. He knows exactly what's happening. He had the 3-run lead. Now it's down to 1. He wants to finish this thing by himself. Never see him glance down toward the bullpen.
He gets Buhner. Big strikeout, but not out of the woods yet because Mike Blowers is coming up.
That's a pitch thrown with conviction. That is the same zone where Buhner's home run was, except that appeared to be the splitter or the chase. See it break down and in.
Scored the first Yankee run when he tagged up from third. Wants this one away. And he gets it on the outside part of the plate. And Blowers will take up his argument with Davey Phillips. So David Cone gets out of it, helped out by that call. The Mariners scored 1. They trail it 7-6. Here's the way the inning ended.
Yeah, you can see why Mike Blowers thought he had a beef. Mike Stanley was set up toward the outside corner, but David Cone and the Yankees got well, a couple of those went against them yesterday. I want to get a read on how Wetland's back is.
However, you go back to that Cleveland game when the Yankees had that big lead and went to the 9th inning, and the Yankees kept Bob Wickman out there and then brought John Wetland in later in that inning, and the Yankees eventually blew that game. And you wonder whether John's better off starting the inning by himself or coming in midway through. In the meantime, Ruben Sierra is up to lead off for the Yankees here in the 9th inning against Nelson.
It really has a tight spin and a lot of bite.
Grounds this one to third. It's a fair ball. Flowers across in time. And we head to the bottom of the 9th inning here at the Kingdome. The Yankees looking to break a 5-game losing streak. Give the ball to this man, John Wetland.
There's Norm Charlton icing down his cannon, the shoulder and the forearm. Sticking around to watch his Mariners. David Cone, no, he's going naked. No ice. 8 gritty innings. And he's going to watch John Wetland try to close it down.
John Wetland was not available to pitch yesterday with the back spasms. Buck Showalter again said it was just a case of him waking up, maybe sleeping on the wrong side and having that little problem right where the bottom of the number 3 would be on the back of his uniform. Doug Strange will come up here to be the pinch hitter in the bottom of the 9th for the Seattle Mariners. He's hitting for Dan Wilson. Yankees 7, Mariners 6. Ground ball to Kelly. Off balance throw, dug out by Boggs. 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Nice job, says John Wetland.
Yeah, you're accustomed to seeing Don Mattingly there. There's the good overhand curve, and Kelly ranging to his right has to make an off-balance throw, and Boggs on the other end makes a nice scoop.
Now another pinch hitter coming up for Seattle. It'll be Warren Newson, acquired from the Chicago White Sox in midseason. Came over on July the 19th.
He's got 5 long balls, 2 with the Mariners, and again, that gives you an idea he is capable of leaving the ballpark, but you don't consider him a long ball threat. Yeah, and for that reason, this would be such a boost at this stage of the season, trying to win that wild card spot. Yankees 4.5 games behind the Rangers. Just one win to get you going in the right direction, and to come back from 4 down and win a game like this against a pitcher like Bennett, who certainly was capable of shutting this lineup down, would be a big step in that direction. And it would be a very satisfying win for David Cone. Sure, you could pitch a game where you shut the opposition out on 2 hits. You say that was a great game, but pitchers take a lot of satisfaction in giving up runs early and hanging in and coming out with a W.
Again, Wetland finds the outside corner. He's setting up out there one more time. Same pitch, and a swing and a miss by Warren Newson. 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Nothing wrong with John Wetland's back tonight. I mean, there's one of the best pinch hitters in the American League. He just blew that fastball right by him.
11 strikeouts now by the Yankee pitchers. David Cone had 10. Top of the lineup in Vince Coleman. He went down twice swinging against Cone.
This is the guy, Buck Showalter. He wants to end the game right here, no base runners, because if Coleman reaches, John Wetland very easy to steal against. That's what the Mariners would try to do.
Now Seattle is down to their last strike with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Coleman has hit 4 home runs this year. Still life for Coleman and the Mariners. Stoic expression from David Cone. He held up. String is out. And he loses it. Ball 4. Coleman walks with 2 outs. Well, last night here in Seattle, I got to catch the tail end of a Ringo Starr concert. One of the songs is "It Don't Come Easy," and it doesn't for the Yankees.
It doesn't, and Buck is shaking his head. He knows exactly what's going to happen. I mean, with Coleman's base-stealing ability, John Wetland is very vulnerable to that. But the only thing you can do right now if you're Wetland, don't worry too much about Coleman, because the pesky little hitter in the batter's box is the one you have to concentrate on. You got to rip it.
There goes Coleman. No throw. Well, for all the signs that Buck flashes to his fielders in terms of trying to keep the runners close, they didn't even get an attempt against Coleman.
Yeah, you could see Vince never looked in and knew he had that stolen easy. A little more pressure on those outfielders right now for the Yankees.
29 steals for Coleman. The pitch to Cora. Pulled back on the bunt, and Coleman steals third.
It's all right. It's still, you can steal second and third. It's still the guy in the batter's box that has to beat you.
And here's a shot off the glove of Tony Fernandez into left field, and Coleman has tied the game. No win for David Cone.
A catchable ball. I think Tony Fernandez just mistimed his leap. You see, he jumped a little too quickly, and he threw his glove down in disgust. He was actually on the way down. Joey Cora hit him a changeup. You know, you're playing in the infield, the ball comes at you. You see Cone's reaction. But the ball comes at you as an infielder.
Now Griffey unloads to deep right. The game is over. The Seattle Mariners, in unbelievably dramatic fashion, on the home run by Ken Griffey, have defeated the Yankees 9-7. This has to be one of the most dramatic wins the Mariners have had here in the Kingdome.
Ken Griffey Jr. has a little 6-year-old fan here in nearby Seattle that sit after his home run the other night. I guess his timing's back. And I guess it is. He picked on a first pitch fastball from John Wetland, and for the first time in his career, he ends a game with a home run. What a dramatic win, but a painful loss for the Yankees.
What a moment for the Seattle Mariners, provided by Ken Griffey Jr. And it all happened against the Yankees closer, John Wetland. Joey Cora was running on the pitch. And Griffey with an unbelievable poke into right field. 9-7 the final. The Yankees still winless, and they'll be sleepless in Seattle after this.
And again, you see Ken Griffey Jr. getting high fives at one of the most disappointed Yankees is Tony Fernandez. He knows he mistimed that jump of Joey Cora's looping liner, and that kept the inning alive.
Saturday, the Mariners and the Yankees square off again at 7:05 for Randy Johnson's T-shirt night.
What a finish for Seattle, and what disappointment for David Cohn. And the Yankees, their losing streak now goes to 6. The first time they've had a 6-game losing streak since 1992. 9-7 is the final score. We'll be back in the Kingdome in Seattle after this.